Hello everybody, welcome to HopTopics. My name is Matthew.
And I'm Kevin.
This is where we talk about movies.
And beer.
And today, again, since we're in the midst of the pandemic, we're going to be talking about streaming services.
Streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Amazon, the such.
Mm-hmm.
And as we did last week, we're going to focus on one of these streaming services because all of them have a tremendous amount to offer. If you have to go month by month, go by our lists. You will not have a bad movie.
Or a shortage of anything to watch.
Yeah. You'll have a short list of things that you can just, hit within a month if you're, dedicated to watching these things.
Exactly.
So, reviewing movies, reviewing TV shows, reviewing beer.
Yep.
It's what we do. It's what we love doing.
Before we talk about Hulu, though, let's go back to Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Netflix.
We forgot something last week.
Totally forgot to talk about anime in our Netflix video, and a lot of Netflix animated original series were not the best, but over the last couple of years, they have definitely started to steadily up their quality. Before it was just Seven Deadly Sins or bust.
Yep.
Now it's Seven Deadly Sins, or you can go back and watch one of the greatest 90s animes ever, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Or you can watch the 2019 anime of the year and what may continue to be one of the best animes of modern history, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. And
Great anime.
So,
Great anime.
Yeah, we had a couple of recommendations for that. Obviously, the aforementioned Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of the absolute classic 90s anime. Mecha anime, lots of crazy, weird stuff.
It's very mind bending.
Yeah, waifus and mind,
mind melding.
Melding,
Melding.
Bite the pillow, they're going in dry. Demon Slayer, one of the best modern animes of all time. Amazing animation, character development, story, characters, demons, action.
Oh yeah.
Just, it's kind of that whole shonen package and then some.
Oh yeah. It's beautifully. It's a beautifully animated.
Beautifully animated.
And
it just melds that 3D and 2D animation so wonderfully.
And even the stories well written. The characters are fleshed out perfectly. It's just so pretty. So pretty. And then the fucking damn it.
Demonetized.
Damn it.
Unsubscribe.
Whatever. Anyway, Seven Deadly Sins, also a great anime.
Great anime. More on the goofy, fun side, with a very Romeo and Juliet story, kind of tied in through the middle.
Yeah.
It kind of goes throughout the seasons, more or less.
Yeah.
Actually, more and more as the seasons progress. It's
very
much more and more Romeo and Juliet so far without the ending, as far as I can tell. Haven't read the manga. I'm pretty sure that's concluded already, but
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
more or less.
But yeah, yes, check out the anime that's on Netflix.
There's actually some good stuff.
Good
one
list.
that we have strayed away from, but has actually been really popular in the anime community, for better or for worse, is Beastars. Something that we have not touched yet, but we keep hearing good things about it, which is leaning me more and more towards maybe I should just bite the bullet and watch it.
Just give it a shot.
I am in no way a furry or furry affiliated, but you do you. I'm not judging you. It's just not my thing. But the show definitely leans more into that crowd, and that's just kind of been my apprehension about watching it.
Yeah, same. I also it's got a weird feel to me.
Yeah.
The animation.
Well, the animation style is really good, but it's definitely they lean a little bit more on the 3D animation. And it can get a little clunky here and there.
It's a little jarring to me, and it'll take some getting used to, but I got used to when like
But I've heard the story.
with Berserk.
Oh yeah, with Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Berserk just like with the brutality in the story just transcends.
Yeah.
No matter how terrible they made the animation.
Yeah.
And they could freaking draw stick figures, and Berserk would still be interesting.
Sure. Alright, but yeah, check out Netflix anime,
Yes.
and then let's move on to Hulu.
Hulu. Yeah, we kind of decided to break it up into genres based on, just the sheer amount of content on Hulu is vast. So we kind of broke it up into categories. We're just going to kind of list off the categories and, some of the movies and shows that we don't want to, like, go in depth about. We will mention those shows, but, like, we're kind of...
If you need a description, there's a description on the show. Like,
there is a description on the show.
you could. It's on Hulu. Like, you can read it if you feel.
For the most part, this is a recommendation video. We're just trying to, broaden your horizons.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we love movies and TV and stuff, but even then, like, a lot of the stuff that we're recommending has either at one point or another been mainstream or, based on the community has been more mainstream. So, trying to encompass that wide range of people. We're going with just our favorites that we've seen, just like we did with Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
We're just kind of just playing around, just throwing out some recommendations that will help get you through quarantine month by month if you so choose.
Exactly.
And get those free trials that you've never used or, haven't used your family's emails that don't have these accounts.
Exactly. Alright, so first genre is action.
Action! As far as movies go, Alita Battle Angel. Very cool movie. Lots of action. I actually haven't watched this movie, but it's been so heavily recommended to me based on my affinity for anime and robots fighting each other that I just had to put it on the list. John Wick 3, probably close to my favorite John Wick movie. I don't know, it's so hard to choose. The first one will never be my favorite just because the dog dies.
Yeah, that was messed up.
But, like, it's still an amazing movie, and 2 just ups the ante, and 3 just ups the ante even more, and gets more into the lore and, like, the crazy ridiculousness of it. I also put cult classic action movie The Warriors. If you know nothing about The Warriors, you at least know the line, "Warriors, come out to play."
Completely improvised, too.
Completely improvised, with the bottle clanking and everything.
Everything.
If you haven't actually seen that movie, it's actually a great watch. It's probably a little bit dated, but, it's like goofy action drama, and, it's almost like cartoonish in the way it's executed. And it's fantastic. It's a great movie to watch. Great hour and a half to kill.
Oh, yeah.
Con Air, one of the best bad Nicolas Cage movies. Face Off, another best bad Nicolas Cage movie. The Transporter, action, terrible story, pretty bad acting, but it's what got Jason Statham started, and I can't imagine anybody being mad about that. Bloodsport, one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's early movies, and
He did stuff work before that.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, I think this was the first Jean-Claude movie that I ever saw.
Yeah, same. Still watch it.
Oh yeah, if it's on the movie channels, if we ever have movie channels again, totally watch it, and I will probably watch it on Hulu as I continue to pay for it.
Yes.
Another movie, 13 Assassins, more samurai showdown gore and awesome crazy action sequences, and then a movie I will get into in much more depth later, Dread, my number one pick for Hulu right now as far as movies go. But Getting the TV, man.
For action, for the TVs, Vikings, great show, wonderful, brutal. It's kind of touches on some of the Viking lore, a little bit.
Been on my list to watch for a while now.
So pretty. Firefly, another classic, great show. Very sad it's only got one season, but you know what? You got a movie to watch after that.
You got a movie to watch. There's vague talks of revitalizing it, but the first season is so good that it's still a must-watch.
Oh, totally.
I feel like.
Another classic, Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Gotta watch Baywatch, man.
It's got the Hoff and Pamela Anderson.
It's
What
like
more do you need?
it's got one of my favorite. Yeah, like Pamela Anderson, the Hoff.
Yeah.
How could you go wrong?
Seriously.
There's Barbarians Rising. It's about the barbarians that were fighting against the Romans during that whole period when the Romans were trying to defend the Roman Empire, and yeah, it's brutal. It was recommended by one of my coworkers.
Nice.
My boss recommended that.
Yeah, I've actually heard talks about that, and I've also put that on the list of things that I want to watch, haven't seen, but
Exactly.
so heavily recommended that we're going to recommend it here.
Exactly. Another one is Angel, the Buffy spinoff.
Which also Buffy.
Well, yeah.
Gotta
Mention Buffy.
You gotta mention Buffy if you're gonna talk Angel.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're both great series. Like, they both tell great stories. And you know what? Yeah, you may not agree with some of it, but it's still good.
Yeah. And honestly, like, start with Buffy. Angel's an offshoot of Buffy.
Well, so Angel comes after Buffy anyway.
Angel comes after Buffy in the continuity. And also Buffy's just, like Angel has some great points to it.
Buffy's the one
that
that started
strong as Buffy.
Yeah. Sure.
Buffy went on longer. It was just kind of overall better.
Strong female.
The characters were definitely better overall. I feel like the main cast.
Oh yeah,
definitely better in Buffy.
Definitely. All right. How about comedy, man?
Comedy? Oh man, you know me. I got comedy for days on the list here.
Yep.
So I gotta reference things. All the Austin Powers movies are on here. Did you know that? Now you do.
Bit of knowledge.
You know, nostalgia. Both Deadpool movies are on here, which, if you haven't seen those, where have you been? Watch Deadpool. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Both the movie and the TV series.
Yep. Also, the series is great.
Yeah.
Also, watch the movie.
Seen the
also
series,
great.
But, you know, like, I love the movie.
Also, read the book.
Yeah, read a book. Superbad. We've mentioned on this channel probably more than a couple of times. Orange County. One of my favorite Jack Black roles, even though he's actually a supporting character in that. Big Daddy. One of my favorite early Adam Sandler movies. Almost Heroes. Terrible movie, but it's got Chris Farley in it, and, you know, it's got nostalgia for me. So I'm still going to recommend it, even though I know it's bad.
Yeah.
Coneheads.
Can't go wrong with the classic.
Dan Aykroyd, weird alien people from France. It's fantastic. Mars Attacks. Great Tim Burton movie.
Great Tim Burton movie, yes. It's got another point.
Another movie that has Jack Black in minor role. Good Boys. Link in the description for our review on Good Boys. It's funny.
It is.
And there's one scene in the movie that's worth the entire movie as far as I'm concerned. Dodgeball, the true underdog story. Ben Stiller at his most heavyweights since heavyweights.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Which also, that was a great movie too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Nice Guys, Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, crime drama comedy.
Wonderful.
Super funny.
Wonderful.
I mean, yeah, I can't recommend that movie enough. I can't wait. I can't believe it took me so long to see it. Because I was interested from the trailers. I was like, oh, dude, I need to see this movie. And then I never did until it was like on movie channels.
Yeah.
You know, on like HBO or Showtime or some stuff. Death at a Funeral, the original British version.
Better version.
The better version, for sure. It's got Peter Dinklage, Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
A lot of British actors and comedians and stuff. Definitely a great movie to watch for good, dry, dark British humor.
Mm-hmm.
Good Morning Vietnam, one of the Robin Williams classics. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Dirty Work, one of the more vulgar classic comedies on the list that I picked, but definitely worth a watch. Mafia, with the exclamation point. Definitely one of the dumber parody style movies, like kind of like before Scary Movie, but similar in that whole like spoofing famous movies kind of trope.
Godfather, Casino, Goodfellas, all that stuff. Yeah,
it's just parodying all those movies. It's stupid, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so it might actually be worth me revisiting at some point. And then the first Hot Shots, parodying Top Gun. Not as great as Hot Shots Part 2, which does more Apocalypse Now and freaking stuff like that. But definitely worth watching. One of the all-time best slapstick comedy parody / movies. Yep. Wayne's World 2. Fortunately, Wayne's World 1 wasn't on there, but Wayne's World 2 is still hilarious.
Still a good movie.
Yeah. But watch the first one if you have the opportunity. If you haven't, for whatever reason, seen Wayne's World, like, watch the first one for sure. Excellent. But the second one definitely has some moments that, like, have stuck with me forever. Yep. And then I put it under comedy, but it could go under so many different sections. One of my all-time favorite movies, The Princess Bride. It's on Hulu. If you don't know it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we can be friends, to be totally honest. That movie is amazing. Actually, we could be friends, but I have to be the one to show you the movie, and we have to have long, in-depth conversations about it. And it'll be, I don't know, I'll probably just drone on about Andre the Giant. I'll just quote the movie most of the time.
And the proper way to say protocol.
Conceivable.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
I keep saying that the word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Comedy shows. There are lots.
Yes, there are
We're
lots.
actually going to split this up between more live action-y shows and animated shows, as we decided to make animated comedy its own thing.
Yes.
Separate from anime itself.
Yes.
Actually.
Because
So we got animated comedies specifically and anime, because those are two actually very different genres.
very. Like, you get away with a lot more in cartoons than they can with in live action.
Oh, absolutely.
But yes, for like TV comedy, Last Man Standing, good Tim Allen show. Letterkenny, great show. Canadian, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Okay, wonderful. We'll talk about that later.
Much quotable.
Much quotable. Yes, definitely.
Golden Girls, good classic show. Betty White's in it. How could you go wrong?
Man.
I Love Lucy, another great classic show. It's timeless.
That's a show I grew up watching. My mom loved that show.
Yeah.
I watched that show all the time with her.
Same.
Vitamin to Vegemin is probably still one of my favorite episodes of all time.
Yep. Malcolm in the Middle.
Malcolm in the Middle. Great show.
Everybody Hates Chris is another good one.
Also a good one. Not as strong as Malcolm in the Middle.
Not as strong as Malcolm in the Middle, but it has the same kind of premise. But it's
got a very similar feel to it, and I mean, it's more black-centric, and Terry Crews just freaking kills it in that show. I mean, if you need any reason to watch it for Terry Crews.
Serious.
But the show itself is actually really good.
Yeah.
I think I just like Malcolm in the Middle more because I grew up with it. And Bryan Cranston. Like, how can you not be enamored with Bryan Cranston and everything he does?
True. Yeah. And last one, Married with Children.
Married with Children.
Love Al Bundy. Love Al Bundy. Well, there's a couple other ones, but like, it's pretty much like How I Met Your Mother, Saved by the Bell,
Yeah.
Frasier, if you're
Frasier's great.
your intellectual humor.
Yeah, but it's also got like it's like marketed as intellectual humor while also still having like those low-hanging fruit jokes.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it's definitely got those '90s level
And
sitcom jokes.
The Guest Book. It's got 2 seasons, and the first and second season are both really funny. Like, highly recommend that show.
Yeah. So is that your general overview for comedy shows as far as more live action stuff goes?
Yes, sir.
Alright, well then we're going to move on to drama. And drama we're just labeling as movies that don't fit into any of the other categories quite as well. I don't have as long a list for this one. Obviously comedy and action are like my main fortes, plus anime. So,
Plus drama for the movies was really broad. So, they kind of just put in a bunch of...
You can stick 90% of all film catalogs
Well,
into
plus
drama.
a lot of international movies that usually tend to be drama, so...
Which, speaking of which, I have 2019's Best Picture winner, Parasite, as a drama on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a fantastic movie. Deserved Best Picture.
Oh, totally.
The Truman Show, one of Jim Carrey's best dramatic roles
So good.
of all time. It's so good. Laugh, cry, all the range of emotions. And Jim Carrey is just fantastic in that.
How could you go wrong with Jim Carrey? I mean, he's got such a range of acting.
I know. I feel like that was a movie that he really, proved himself as a, more potential dramatic actor.
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon, for sure. But that one's, almost a little more surreal.
That's true.
Than anything.
It's not like it's, Spotless Mind or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not like when he got, super serious in acting. Truman Show still had, those elements of comedy where it was,
If I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, He's a great everyman, too.
Carreyisms.
He's so great at standing out, and he's so great at blending in while standing out. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't.
No, it does.
Anyways, 8 Mile, the Eminem movie.
I saw that in the theater.
Actually, great movie.
The
surprisingly music score is fantastic for it.
Yeah, it is.
If you're a rap hip-hop fan, that's definitely a must-watch if you haven't watched it already. Which I can't imagine you wouldn't have if you're a rapper hip-hop fan. If you're a fan of Eminem in any way, shape, or form. I also put down The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's one of those, uplifting, you can do anything you set your mind to kind of movies where, the main character is unhappy with life and, sets out to kind of do more and, accomplish his goals and stuff. It's a really good feel-good movie.
Yeah.
Great music in it, great actors, Kristen Wiig, Ben Stiller. Oh, man. Can't remember his name.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
But anyways, it's a great movie. A lot of great characters in it. A lot of great music. Boogie Nights, because I didn't have a better place to put it, so I just put it in drama. It's on here.
It kind of is a drama.
I mean, yeah, it works. It works.
It works.
I could also put it in comedy. I could also put it in, some other genres probably. But, I just decided to stick in drama because I said so. I feel like I needed more dramas.
It works.
And then, last movie I put on there was Dead Poets Society, another Robin Williams movie.
Love that movie.
Another great role for him, stretching his comedic and dramatic acting chops.
Mm-hmm. A lot of critics hated that movie.
And they can all lick my butthole.
They just didn't like Robin Williams' character. It was very torn.
Fun fact, my senior year of high school, on our last day, my class planned on all doing the stepping on our desks and saying, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," to our favorite English teacher, which most of us had had for the last 2 years, so our junior and senior year. And the only person who actually went through with it and committed to it, like everybody was afraid to start it. And then the one person who did start it happened to also be 6'8" and like 250 pounds. And he goes to step on his desk and say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and the teacher immediately shuts him down and is like, "You are too big to be up on that desk. Get down." And then we all laughed and said, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," without standing on our desks. You know, it was pretty great, though.
Fair.
Mr. Storr, goes out to you.
Great teacher. I had him too. I had him for film and lit teacher. He was a great teacher.
Yeah.
For drama, for TV shows. There's Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks.
Scrubs.
Also could be, more in the comedy. It's got very early Jason Segel and James Franco.
Seth
Rogen. Like, people that you see together in movies nowadays. Although less so Jason Segel with Seth Rogen and James Franco. But
yeah. Scrubs.
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 Also another one that works in comedy, but the drama factor is still definitely there. Mm-hmm. It's what really kind of humanizes the show.
Oh yeah, easily.
In a lot of ways. Plus it deals with hospital stuff, and it doesn't have somewhat of drama in there.
Oh,
that's a very tone-deaf show.
So sad.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many sad moments in that show.
Serious. But it's just so good, too. X-Files. X-Files is another one.
Yeah, we don't have a sci-fi category, so, we stuck it into drama.
Yeah.
CSI.
There's I think there's just Miami. I think there's just Miami and the original one. But the original one went on for a bunch of seasons. You really just need the first 6 seasons. You don't need to go further than that.
Because watching more than 6 seasons of a procedural show.
Well, they start to lose characters, and one of the characters they kill off because he had a drug addiction, and he actually died, out of the show. And then they leave, and then they come back, and then it's just
it hasn't stopped Law and Order in
I don't want to talk about Law and Order. I don't like that show. Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds is another one. Bones.
Bones, I liked Bones for a while.
Rizzoli and Isles, same.
Never seen that one.
Same one. It's a good one. It's pretty funny. It's along the same lines as all those other shows. Fargo. Fargo's another good one.
Fargo's fantastic. If you like the movie at all, you'll love the show. It's still just as dark and dryly funny and just weirdly comedic in the worst possible times.
True.
I mean, if you watched the movie and still laughed when a guy was feeding somebody into wood chipper, and you'll like the show.
Exactly. Flashpoint. There's also Numbers. Flashpoint actually has Amy Jo Johnson in it. And for those who don't know who Amy Jo Johnson is, that was the original Pink Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Every 90 kid's first crush. Guaranteed.
Yeah, pretty much.
And a lot of 80s kids, too.
Yep.
Late 80s,
Yeah.
Before that, there were definitely plenty of other prospects.
Yes. We watched Saved by the Bell, too. Numbers. Preacher, which is interesting because that's a good show, and it's based off a comic book, which is also super dark,
which is super dark and super brutal.
And the show
is just a great job of adapting.
Exactly, it's
so
wonderful,
good, so good,
wonderful.
Definitely recommend Preacher.
And my last one would probably be Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries. I have watched 0 of that.
They have all of the seasons of Unsolved Mysteries on Hulu, and
great, a fantastic binging show if you're into that.
Oh, totally! It's wonderful. It's it's dramatized and it's glorious. It's like Forensic Files before Forensic Files was a thing.
I don't even know what that means. I haven't seen either of those shows.
Good.
Hey, guess what we're going to talk about now? anime.
Woo! I got a lot of those.
Yeah, I only have 2. But the 2 movies that I do have for anime are 2 heavy hitters. One of them is one of the best anime cinematic releases of all time, Akira. I mean, damn, there's so much I could say about this. It could be its own video. If you want us to do a cult classics video on Akira, I would be so okay with that.
Comment down below. Yeah, if you
let us know. Let us know.
Or if you got any other video ideas, if you got any other movie ideas.
Any other movies, TV shows you want us to review.
Comment down below.
We're super open to
I read all
doing
of them.
anything.
I read all of them.
Yeah. He reads all of them and then tells me about it. And it's a great system, I feel like. He does most of the work and I sit here and drink beer.
I sit here and drink beer and then I drink beer later
he
too.
Drinks beer while he edits because he has to have some sort of coping mechanism to edit our videos.
Gotta have some kind of hobby.
Akira, absolute classic. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. And then, if you want to get punched in all of your feels, Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes.
Oh man, I don't think I can say anything else without giving anything away. Oh my god!
You think it's gonna get better?
It doesn't.
It's just depressing. But the ending is the most rewarding part of that whole movie, even though it is super sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I got for anime movies. Although there are many other anime movies, a lot of them are OVAs or continuations on specific anime series. There's a lot of Pokemon anime movies. There's some Digimon anime movies. There's, certain things like there's a couple of Sword Art Online movies. I haven't seen most of those. I've seen a couple of the Pokemon ones. That all comes down to general personal taste, whether or not you want to watch those.
Sure.
These 2 I can recommend as just anybody that's a fan of movies and likes animation.
Mm-hmm.
English or subbed, you can't go wrong.
Yep.
They're both great. Shows.
Anime shows, I have One Punch Man.
Fantastic.
Cowboy Bebop.
Freaking-tastic.
Trigun.
Also amazing. Not as good as Cowboy Bebop in my opinion, but that's just... I think that mostly comes down to the fact that Cowboy Bebop's intro is one of the best anime intros of all time.
Yeah, true. Overlord.
Overlord. Great show that I know a lot about and haven't seen much of.
It's wonderful.
Give it a try.
It's
one of those big shows where if you're into anime and you haven't seen it, it will be spoiled for you because it's just everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
It is everywhere, so if you like those... actually, this is kind of geared towards people that don't know a lot about anime. If you like those real-world people put into a fantasy world style shows, they're called isekai.
Mm-hmm.
Overlord is one of the best ones.
True.
Both in terms of story and animation as well.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Let's see, there's also, I got Samurai Champloo.
I don't want to take a second and talk about Samurai Champloo because, oh man, it's
we can talk about that later.
I know. We're only going to talk about a couple things at the end.
Blood Sea. It's kind of like a continuation from Blood Plus and stuff like that.
Never saw it.
Blood Sea is super brutal. It is one of the more bladier animes that are out there. But it's still a great story. Tiger and Bunny. It sounds funny because it's Tiger and Bunny, but it's actually very clever. They're superheroes.
Okay.
And the superheroes are sponsored by certain companies, and so whenever they save people, they're sponsors on their outfit, and Like, it's really interesting.
Whenever
the way
they save people, they get Hunger Games style care packages sent to them.
Not necessarily, but I mean, like, they get...
Sorry, I've never seen the show, so I'm just kind of like...
They're...
Like the sponsorship thing just reminds me of
They
Hunger
get paid.
Games.
Like, a lot of, like how, like NASCAR drivers. They get paid when they... Same thing along those lines. Let's see, there's also Bleach.
Bleach. One of the original big three.
Assassination Classroom.
So good.
Great anime. Mushishi.
Mushishi. So many feels.
Love it.
So good.
Promise Neverland.
Promise Neverland. Would also just as easily fit into the horror genre.
Sure.
By the way, that's one that's just like so intense, so good, so many feels.
There's Fruits Basket.
Fruits Baskets. Oh, man.
Great. It's a very good like romance kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
There's also Outlaw Star.
Outlaw Star.
Gurren Lagann.
Classic 90s. Gurren Lagann.
Guyver.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
They have a lot of old Guyver episodes on Hulu, which is great because Guyver is also another brutal anime, and it's also glorious. And then there's also Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works.
Oh my god, Unlimited Budget Works.
And
the same people that made Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, they originally did Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works. And up until Demon Slayer, Fate Stay Night was probably one of the most spectacularly animated shows of all time. Animation spectacular, story's great, characters are awesome, like, action scenes are super ridiculous and awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, can't recommend that one enough. My additions to the anime list, Noragami Arigato is great for both action and hitting you in the feels. My Hero Academia, at the very least the first season's on there. Great to get you started. If you're more into that, get Crunchyroll. It comes out literally like once a year, so it's easy to keep up with. Yeah, they're already 4 seasons in, 5 seasons maybe. I can't remember. I don't know. I just keep watching it. They come out with episodes and I watch them. I'm pretty sure it's 4 seasons. And then they have some of the old Gundam series on there too.
Like Gundam Zero.
One of my favorites among them being the 8th MS team.
Yeah.
It's based around this very small scale, like, turf battle. And focuses on, like, a single squad, like, basically trying to take over a single area. It's like, it's a very small scale version of what Gundam shows usually focus on, which is entire colonies and planets and systems.
Yep.
And scales it down to, like, what are the battles being fought on the ground? Like, what are the characters like that are, doing these things in just these small scale skirmishes and stuff. And it's a really well done anime. It's a little dated in terms of like
animation,
in terms of how it's presented, but it's got so much great stuff to it, so can't recommend that one enough.
Definitely.
I'm sure there's more. I didn't really delve into the anime shows because I let him do most of the anime. Most of the TV shows.
There's a lot of like other ones like Sailor Moon. There's newer Pokemon like Pokemon X, Y, XYZ.
Oh, the Sun and Moon series is on there,
Sun and Moon
which is actually really good.
There's also like Kaleido Star if you're into like older anime and stuff like that. There's a vast amount, and you can go pretty much into any of these genres, and you can find anime in it.
Absolutely, and anime is super subjective, even among anime fans. So, there's going to be stuff that we recommend that you might not get into, but just in service of time and hopefully not shooting this video an hour long a second time, we're going to go into our last genre, which is horror.
Adult animation.
Oh, we got adult animation too.
Yeah, but it's a short. It's a
man.
short one.
It's a shorter one.
Before we talk about
basically adult animation, all TV shows, some of probably the best shows that you've seen in the last 20 years. Family Guy. It's got The Simpsons. We've got Archer. We've got Bob's Burgers. We've got Rick and Morty. We've got Solar Opposites. I feel like Hulu's like one of the best places to get like adult themed animation shows.
Easily.
And
like Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles is one of those anime where you're like, is one of those animations where you're like, should I be watching this?
Yeah, it's super brutal and super entertaining. Crazy. The theme song is amazing. But yeah. Dude, Mr. Pickles.
Axe Cop is another one. And then that one is actually good to lead into our last genre is horror.
Horror! I did very few movies for this. There were a lot of horror movies, but I didn't really see most of them, so I couldn't really give any recommendations. But Cabin in the Woods, we've talked about it on this channel before. Fantastic movie. It also hits a lot of the comedy spots, but
super
it's
meta.
very rooted in horror.
Oh yeah.
I also put Parasite. Parasite kind of goes into the horror genre a little bit. I mostly did that to fluff the section. And then another one that I put into the section just as more fluff was American Psycho.
Yes. Yes.
Which is more of like in the drama section, but yeah.
It works. It works.
Hold on.
So horror for the TV series.
TV series.
TV series.
Yeah.
We did. I did American Horror Story.
Great.
Stand Against Evil. Very funny, but also good horror. Hannibal.
Hannibal. Oh, that one's so well done. Like, I feel like the characters are really well done in that one.
Oh, totally. It's nice. It's just an overall just very well told and very well done show. Mm-hmm. Scream Queens, which is kind of fun.
I haven't seen it.
That was a good one. Let's see. There was. Last one. Even though it's an anime, Future Diary.
Future Diary.
Future Diary.
Yeah, another anime. Definitely worth checking out.
Oh, hell yes. Scream Queens, which is kind of fun.
I haven't seen it.
That was a good one. Let's see. There was. Last one. Even though it's an anime, Future Diary.
Future Diary.
Future Diary.
Yeah, another anime. Definitely worth checking out.
Oh, hell yes.
I haven't even seen the whole thing. It's just kind of one of those that I've seen like episodes here and there. But yeah, what I've seen is actually really interesting, and it gets very psychological in parts of it, and yeah, definitely a fun anime to watch.
Also, if you're in like classic horror, Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone's a good one.
Twilight Zone. I mean, what's more bingeable than just hours and hours of Twilight Zone?
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
And then there's also last one is Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. So that's pretty much why I watched it.
That's why you watched it.
And it was actually a pretty good show. It was decent.
Yeah.
And
then we talked about beer, because we got to talk about this before Matt finishes all his beer.
I am about halfway done.
Of that cup, which is your last beer.
It's my last beer.
It's the last one that we have for this particular beer. Today we're reviewing Quarantine Machine, IPA by Smog City. Obvious why we're doing this beer for this video. Quarantine Machine, quarantine stuff to watch while you're stuck at home, not socializing and maintaining social distancing. Yay!
Yeah, well, we can do this because we live together. So
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We're not going to wear a mask.
But yeah, it's got. What are the notes you got, man?
I got congestion from allergies.
You got. I have cough from allergies.
Yeah. At least I can work with congestion.
Shut up. Crisp.
Some light fruitiness. Hoppy, but not like overly bitter.
It's more floral.
Yeah. Yeah, I could give it that, not quite chew it on potpourri, but definitely...
Close.
Definitely, floral, almost grassy, like... Like, the hops are definitely a flavor. Like, the hops that they choose to use are definitely in there. But, yeah, like I said, it's tropical and refreshing. I'm getting some nice fruit notes in it. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what.
Kind of like grapefruit.
Yeah.
Like
things more citrusy, but also, there's definitely some more juiciness in there without being, like, hazy level juicy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe a hint of guava or, like, mango or something.
Something like that, yeah. I can see that.
Like, one of those pretty common offshoot flavors that you get from a lot of IPA style hops, like the Simcoe and the Mosaic hops.
Yeah.
It's a 6.6%, so kind of right in your middle of the road IPA.
Not too heavy.
Yeah, no.
Super light. It's a good summer beer.
Yeah, it would work for a summer beer because it's not like overly fruity, so it's not like
it's crisp.
Yeah, it's got some nice refreshing notes to it. When it's cold, it drinks super easy. West Coast style.
Vouch for that.
Smog City, LA.
Torrance.
Simcoe, Laurel, and Mosaic. So Simcoe and Mosaic, I was spot on with those.
Oh yeah.
Laurel, I'm actually not familiar with that hop in particular, but I mean, Simcoe's used in a lot of things. Mosaic is the focus of a lot of like pale ales and stuff, especially around these parts. Overall, it's a pretty damn good beer.
Oh yeah.
I really like it.
Oh yeah. It's definitely better like cold.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you want to drink a cold beer, but I mean, like you don't want it like somewhat cold. It doesn't quite give you that crispness that you're looking for.
Well, it's an IPA, so like you want to taste it, but at the same time, like once IPAs start to get warm, it starts to give those like more off flavors, it enhances the bitterness. It like kind of sends more of those like odd like overripe fruit notes to it. So yeah, you want to drink it in that like 40 to 50 degree range in terms of coldness. Like that's like the perfect ambient temperature for sipping it, where you're gonna get the flavors, and it's still gonna drink nice and clean and smooth. But you're not gonna get any of those like weird off flavors from a warm IPA.
Yeah, true. All right.
We haven't done a rating on this beer. Actually, we didn't even do a rating on the last beer.
Oh man, yeah, we were bad.
It's been a while.
We're getting back into this. Okay, so what would you rate this?
I could give this a solid. I feel like going forward, should get a little more strict with my ratings.
Okay.
Because this is definitely like this has some potential for everyday beer, but it's not like so good that I'm like willing to pay the price.
Yeah,
this is $14.50.
$14 for a 4-pack. Yeah.
And it's only 6.6% alcohol. It's like, if you're looking for bang for your buck, this is not it. This is on the higher end of 4-pack prices, while being on the lower end of IPA alcohol percentages. So if you're looking for bang for your buck, this is not your beer. If you're looking for something tasty, refreshing, with some nice fruit, tropical notes to it, this is definitely a great beer. But I feel like overall, price, ABV, and flavor considered, I would give it a 3.5.
3.5. You know what? I can go with that. I can go with 3.5.
It's good, but it doesn't hit all those notes for me to be all like, yes, I want to pay the money for this beer.
You know what? I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna go say 3.
Yeah.
Stay right in the middle. It is a delicious beer. It's really good, but because of that price, it brings it down a little bit.
Yeah,
And
honestly, like I would go down to a 3, but so far 3.5 is like the lowest score I've given any beer I think we've reviewed so far.
Yeah, we've been really lucky.
Well, and we temper our expectations. Our first video was Kieran, which by no means stands up to this beer as like something that I would drink.
True.
More regularly. But for the moment, Kieran was pretty awesome. Because we drank 3 bombers of it. And it was...
We shouldn't have drank that.
Well, we shouldn't have re-recorded the video the same day.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 3.5.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I'm going to stay steady with that. Because it's still a good beer.
All right.
Still a good beer. Solid flavors. The alcohol percentage is a little on the lower side, but it's very enjoyable. You can drink a couple of them without, like, being wonky or weird.
What is a movie you'd recommend?
Movie I would recommend? My number one recommendation that I decided for Hulu was Dread.
Nice.
That was a very underrated movie when it came out. A lot of people didn't see it. I didn't even see it until maybe a year or 2 later on Netflix when I had had surgery on my foot and couldn't go anywhere. So I watched a lot of Netflix. I watched all of Dexter in that time. Started out great, did not end up great.
No, the ending season is terrible.
Yeah, it's really not
It's kind of like a wave. Each season's kind of like a wave.
Well, it was a solid climb up until like season 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then it kind of waved out.
Yeah.
Below the peak though.
Yeah.
Way below.
What about TV show?
TV show? 100% Letterkenny. If there's any TV show that you should binge with subtitles, just because they're very quick talking, a lot of quick wit, and possibly some lingo that you're definitely not familiar with. Letterkenny is one of my absolute favorite shows right now. And I have rewatched this series multiple times since I discovered it. Maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Like...
Year and a half, 2 years,
Oh, jeez. I have watched this show so much. I look up clips to show people. I cannot get enough of this show.
It's great. It's great.
But, should be anything, it's efficient.
True facts.
That was not efficient.
My movie is actually kind of a really super odd one. 1 Hour Photo.
Oh,
another Robin Williams movie. It's very underrated.
That's a weird movie.
But it's super weird, especially when you see Robin Williams in this context. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. But I mean, it's still a decent movie and something to give a try. My TV show... You know what? I'm going to have to go with Baywatch. I'm going to have to go with Baywatch, man. 'Cause
you know what?
I mean, I like Baywatch. I mean, I was thinking about Vikings, but I mean, like, Baywatch.
You know what? What am I going to say about you, bud? I can always expect the most unexpected from this freaking guy right here. Like, so many great TV shows, award-winning, or at least, like, really great character-driven stories, or really great dramas or comedies, or, like, long-running, great shows. And this guy's picking Baywatch as his number one Hulu
recommendation
for a TV show.
I mean, it's good. It's good nostalgia for like especially the kids. Well, the people that are my age and like.
Yeah, that's right. Keep justifying it.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta talk this. You gotta talk this thing up. Like, you better get
Well,
this
the guy that they essentially based a lot of the stories off of is in the show. Like, he gave the writers of the show a lot of these ideas, and he's in the show. So, I mean, it's not David Hasselhoff. Okay?
But, I mean, that's one reason to watch the show in the first place.
Exactly. And, like, plus, I mean, like, it's a good show for what they were going after.
Oh,
Don't watch the follow-up show that one's been. But, anyway, so that's our recommendations.
These are our recommendations for Hulu.
Hey,
we're clocking in.
We're pretty
just
close.
Under an hour.
Pretty close. So you know what?
We might as well make this podcast, but we're just going to post it up to YouTube because that's what we want to do. So screw you.
All right, here's the way to end it.
Here's to you.
Here's to me.
Friends for life, we shall always be.
If by chance we disagree,
then screw you.
Here's to me.
I thought you were going to finish your beer before you even freaking got to the cheers.
I almost did.
I can imagine.
Cheers.
Cheers.